We are back with Eric from Davis Tool Systems, and we're going to pose a question. Like, what if we're working on a project that's got really delicate lines, something along that nature, and the power tool would have too much strength? So Eric has an answer to that. I'm going to just let him hop in and explain this portion.
Great. Once again, thanks for having me, Aaron. I really appreciate it. So I would just first take you over here to the Grip 360. This one's available right now on our website. And this is the same Davis connector, dual action variable instrument system that we have. And this is our 50 millimeter scraper. And you can, of course, see how wide it is, 50 millimeters wide and beyond. And if you take from the Grip 360, and this is it right here, and you needed to do something by hand, again, all of these accessories that you have are going to fit together. So now it's just a hand tool, right? Yep. So this is what we have right here. So here I am in free rotation position, and I can use both of them together in conjunction, just like I would the damping handle, right? So I'm here in free rotation. I can flip it around. I can do what I need. And then again, I can put different grits across the profile. And here it would just be, okay, 180, that's good. Now I'm going to hit to 220. Here I am with that. And then I'll hit up to 240. Or, you know, it's really just a question of how much do I need. These are fully customizable. If you wanted to cut this off right here and just use this portion and only use it in one, that's exactly what we designed it for you. Our 8 millimeter threaded adapters screw into the threaded insert right here, just like this, and we get a, just pull that out, there we go. So you can see that the threaded, 8 millimeter threaded insert goes right in just like this. There you have it. And then I can, of course, choose to do this with just one hand or two-handed operation, right? So it's a choice. And then, of course, we can have any geometry on this. It doesn't have to be round. It can be any profile. And Aaron and I are going to show you a little bit more about how you would accomplish those things. But I'm sure you can figure it out.
Like you could eventually make different diameters or shapes even.
Any geometry, exactly.
And with 3D printing too. 3D printing, at a certain point, you're going to be able to take a picture and it'll make a profile, and you just add that to to the 8 millimeter locking nut, I guess, the threaded insert, and at that point you could do anything. But like with the belt, how would you do that? Like, how do you connect the belt to this and do this by hand? Because being the person doing this for 20 years, I still think even after using the power tool, I have to come in and still hand sand it. It's just something that we can't get past. People that are veterans doing this for this long, like, I still want to do a little hand sanding so we can do that final polishing. And I said, I think this might be the answer to that kind of question.
So as you know, we're using hook and loop surfaces right here, okay? And hook and loop surfaces give us the perfect medium in order to put buffing pads, 800 grit, 1,000 grit. I don't know how far you want to go up to something. If you want to polish, you don't have to sand. But here's something to think about. When you're using a jump rope, you are basically going around like this, right? Yeah. So that's what free rotation does, is it'll allow you to go from one side buffing to one side sanding in just an instant. And then, of course, if you really had to be in fixed position in both of these, now it's not going to turn on itself, it's just going to wind on itself. But it's like it says, you kind of choose, okay, I need to get that one spot, we're doing nice, I'm just going to do these short strokes, I'm at 1,000 grit, or I'm buffing, and I'm just making sure that I get that spot.
Well, what if it's the last banister on the wall, and you really don't have the area to get in there with the power tool, or you don't want to damage the wall? This may be like, okay, you do 40 other spindles, that last one, you're doing the last 30% of it by hand, but you're still not messing up your fingertips. You're not, you're not eating it up. We all know sanding with the heavy sandpaper, we all lose fingerprints from all of that. And I go, I know I've had it points where it's almost raw. Like your fingertips hurt for another 3 or 4 days after. What does that do for your business, your operation? What if you're the owner and your employees are not at full 100% of working the next day? Because of that. This would save that.
Yeah, and I think ultimately what we're doing is we're displacing the need to hold the products or the sandpaper and in giving you a better grip. And of course, we're going to make the Grip 360. This is a connector that is a universal connector, a universal utility handle. This is the first version of it. Do we need a two-handled one? Maybe for the lathe. Maybe you need to have this on a lathe. Do you need an extension pole? Of course this is going to be an extension pole. So we see the future. It's just right now we're going to get this out, get it to you through...
There's a use case for it right now.
Yes.
Like, that's really it. There's a use case for it that I could use it here today.
Yeah.
Let me rip off a little piece of the sandpaper and just kind of show.
Yeah.
Like, we would do that, Ivan and I, here in the shop. We would take sandpaper, and if we have some weird spindles or that, we would sit here and do this, which, like I said, as you can see, it's sanding it off just the same. It's doing the same, but it's eating up your fingertips, which is, like I said, at the end of the day, you're not going to be 100% for the next days following. And like I said, you feel fine right now, but I said do this for 8 hours a day. It's not going to end up well for the fingertips. I just wanted to show that. I thought that idea now.
And we've covered this once before on the power tool, but we're going to just show you 80, 120, 280.
Yep. Flip
it over on the back. 240, 3, you just keep going up the line. And so exactly what he's saying.
Or what you do is you have to have multiple of these. You have to buy all the straps, sander, and you have to buy 6 of these so you have all the sandpaper.
Yeah.
That'd be better for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I
you have to buy more product. So.
Yeah, but if you're going to sand from 120 up to, say, 420 grit sandpaper or beyond, you could put it all on this strap. If it's hook and loop, you can still put it all on the strap and just be able to do it 120, 180, 240, flip it over and go and just keep going and keep the momentum in your favor.
Even that too, if you have this long piece of 180, this is going to die out pretty quick. You can move it over.
Yep.
Next one, so you're not stopping, replacing paper.
Yeah.
When you're saying that, when you put multiple pieces, you're going to eat through it a lot, and you're going to maybe stopping even more to.
That's true.
To do replacing the sandpaper. But it's like you do it like that, you're going to get a lot of sanding done with this one piece. I guess because you could sand it all the way here to the edge. Like you could, have the tool and you can be, using that last little bit right there to finish off the sanding. Start it from here. You're just gonna keep working your way around that sandpaper.
It's the contact surface.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So
and that's actually a little short too. You can make it a little longer.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
And all of this here is a question of contact. And here you can see that in the profile sander that we were using, yes, it's flexible, but if I wanted to, I could make it rigid. And if you were doing juice grooves in a cutting board, if you take a rotational sander like a Dremel and you were trying to get into that, you're gonna damage it in some areas. It just depends. Whereas this one, you're getting the back and forth stroke, and that is fitting the juice groove itself.
With this too,
and you can use that as well. So I mean, there's plenty of applications where the Grip 360 right here is going to really alleviate the problem of saying I don't need to go too far. Imagine this. 800 strokes at the lowest level on the Tango 360, or I need to do 50 strokes. There's no point in me doing it by a Tango 360 for a half a second or a little bit under that.
Yeah.
But if it's something that I'm really trying to be careful with, let's be careful. Nobody's arguing about trying to not be careful and do something quick. We're trying to do something faster, easier, and better. I mean, that's the real question. And then, of course, comfort and control. Fixed and free rotation is absolutely going to make your arms, your wrists, your fingers, everything else so much better. So, I mean, there's plenty of good reason to...
And plenty of applications. So that's why we have this playlist here on YouTube. Just, continue down, scroll down it. You're going to see all the use cases that we could find here in the shop of, using all of these items for the restoration process. But it doesn't end there. You can be an electrician, a woodworker, a metal worker. This tool could probably have a use case for, basically anything. Yeah. So I said, we'll get back in, we'll set up, we'll do another one, watch the next video, and we'll see you, we'll see you in that video.
All right. Thanks a lot, Aaron.
We'll see you later.
All right.